Guys, US have just deported Nigerians and other West Africa to Ghana. I know many of you will be asking, why is US deporting Nigerians to Ghana instead of deporting them to Nigeria? Let me tell you the full story. Remember last month when Trump announced that there will be a mass deportation for all illegal immigrants and also, people with criminal records. They listed out, a lot of countries they will be deporting, ex-convicts, people with criminal records and illegal immigrants. Some countries like Ghana and other countries accepted, while Nigeria refused. Trump warned that any country that refused to accept deportees from the US will face sanction, visa rescission, and also a tariff hike. So Ghana President John Mahama, to avoid US tariff, he decided to accept the deal. So far, Ghana president has just announced that they received 14 deportees from the US, 13 from Nigeria, one person is for Gambia. And he has put those Nigerians in the bus. They are currently in the bus on their way coming back to Nigeria. Now, the Ghana government still maintains their relationship with the US, while the US has placed a lot of visa sanctions, restrictions on Nigerians. So now tell me, who is losing?
Welcome back to Gist9. The US deported a group of people to Ghana, and they're mostly Nigerians and other Africans. And President Mahama said, bring them home. Just bring them home. I'll accept them. Now, Nigeria's president reportedly saying no to this same offer some time ago, saying they didn't want to bring back people involved in crime or those who might cause trouble in the country. And now this decision by Ghana President Mahama has sparked a huge conversation online. Nigerians are laughing and mocking Ghana, saying, oh, see your life. Your president just accepted people we rejected. And it's almost like Nigerians are saying, we can't carry wahala that we didn't put our hand in, we didn't call for it. So they are saying no to this thing. Well, let's listen to what others have to say about this. And if today is the first time joining my channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe, and I'll be right back.
President Trump deported the first set of Nigeria, not to Nigeria, he deported them to Ghana. I wonder why he deported them to Ghana instead of bringing them back to Nigeria. Where they deported them to is not the reason why I'm doing this video. The reason why I'm doing this video is I was expecting the headline of the news to be President Trump deported Igbos, or President Trump deported Yorubas, or President Trump deported Hausa, or deported Benue, or deported Bini, or deported Benden. But the headline was President Trump deported the first set of Nigeria to Ghana. Now, same Ghana did not want Nigeria. Now you see what our disunity is causing to us. Outside they call us Nigeria. Whether you say it's an Igbo man that is committing crime, whether you say it's a Yoruba man that is committing crime, whether you say it's an Hausa man that is committing crime, Bini man that is committing crime, when they want to call them, they will say Nigerians. And I don't blame those Nigerians that even commit crime outside Nigeria, because already the country himself called Nigeria is corrupt. The country is built in corruption. We are born and we grow in corruption. So some of us that did not involve ourselves into these shady things or criminality is by the grace of God. But when you see a lot of us committing crime, it's like a father and mother that give birth to a lot of children and is not training them, not catering for them. So what do you expect those children to be? Most of them will be criminals. So Nigeria is a country that have lot of population, but our leaders that are supposed to take care of us, that are supposed to put things in place, they are not doing that. Some of us that work hard to get food on our table, we work, at the end of the day we get nothing. And you are expecting a lot of us not to be corrupt or not to be criminals. But the painful part of it is, even we that they are maltreating, we are always the one defending the government. Now,
Ghana accepts West Africans, including Nigerians deported from the United States. Men and women America has rejected. The government frames it as Pan-African solidarity. But could this be a push for economic gain and to strengthen ties with the US? We all know deportees are not professionals. Their behavior cannot be guaranteed. Some may have criminal records, some may have overstayed visas, some may simply be struggling, but they are not vetted. They are not coming with the clean papers of doctors, engineers, or teachers. They are coming because the US said, we don't want them. And Ghana says, we will take them. Now, here is a contradiction. Tomorrow, when one of those deportees misbehaves, Ghana will not say, "This was deportee we choose to accept." No, Ghana will turn and say, "Nigerians are bad." And that is how the entire people get profiled and labeled for the actions of a few. Yet the root of the problem was never Nigeria. It was Ghana choosing to collect what the US rejected. We Nigerians know this story too well. Shops locked in Kumasi, traders chased out of market, protests with slogans, "Nigeria must go," all because of profiling. One mistake, one crime, and suddenly the whole Nigerian community is guilty. But now, by accepting deportees whose behavior is uncertain, Ghana is laying the foundation for more stigma. You cannot accept the cracks and then complain the wall is breaking. Let's separate things clearly. Deportees are not the same as professionals. Deportees are people another country has labeled as unwanted. Professionals are people who contribute, who invest, who pay taxes, who build. But when Ghana mixes both into one box called Nigerians, the good gets buried under the bad. So I asked Ghana, what does that make you? If you welcome deportees today, but close the shops of Nigerian professionals tomorrow, Pan-Africanism should never be about taking what the West throws away and then blaming your African brother for the consequences. If you accept deportees, you accept the responsibility for them. So Ghana must also be open to whatever comes out of this decision. If you take people another country rejected, you must carry the responsibility, not push it later on Nigerians as a people. And to my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, I ask you directly, why are you not protesting this? Because when Nigerians start making money, when they begin to rise in your markets and contribute, all of a sudden you will feel robbed. You will look for cracks, for excuses to protest against Nigerians again. But remember, it was your government that opened the door in the first place, not Nigerians sneaking in.
Why do you think a lot of Ghanaians are upset with their president? A lot of Ghanaians are saying this move makes no sense. If the US is deporting these people, it's likely because they broke laws there. Things like overstaying visas, fraud, or even bigger crimes. And some Ghanaians are asking, why should we accept people that another country doesn't even want? If the whole Nigeria can say no to this, then why can't our president say no to these people too? And to make matters worse, not all of these deportees are even Ghanaians. I think report says that about 13 of them are Nigerians. And this is not funny. This is where Nigerians are jumping into the conversation. Nigerians are basically saying that Ghana is too soft, too quick to accept things that might not even benefit the country. And they're comparing Mahama's decision to their president's own. Now, Ghana, that we all know, they are not the giants of Africa, according to what people are saying. And Nigerians are having a field day, and Ghanaians online are clearly split. Some are angry at their governments, while others are trying to defend Mahama's decisions. Now, in all honesty, President Mahama probably didn't just wake up one morning and decide to do this for fun. His reason for accepting these deportees is that they are still human beings, and he is right about it. And if some of them are Ghanaians, they deserve to come home. Even if they are Nigerians, or any country they are coming from, we are all blacks and we are one. We are Africans. Plus, there is also a humanitarian angle. Some of these deportees may not have committed serious crimes. Some may just have overstayed their visas, lost their papers, or just got unlucky. Bringing them home means they get a chance to restart their lives and maybe become useful members of society again. And to be honest, not everything Nigeria rejects is automatically the best thing to reject. Sometimes, Nigeria just likes to form hard man for no reason. Yes, rejecting these deportees may look like a strong move, but it also leaves their citizens stuck in foreign prisons or detention centers. That's not always good for human rights. But we also have to be realistic. Ghana accepting this deal could have been a great move, but at the same time, it has consequences. Imagine bringing back hundreds of people who may have no jobs, family support, and in some cases have criminal records. If the government doesn't have a solid plan for reintegration, like counseling, job training, and monitoring, then this could lead to an increase in crime or social tension. People who are desperate are more likely to get into trouble, and this is what some Ghanaians are afraid of. Now, another point critics are making is that Ghana should have negotiated harder. If the US wants to deport people, fine, but they could have asked for support, maybe funding or a reintegration program to make sure these people don't just come home and become a burden on the society. That's where Mahama is being accused of being too soft. People think he should have used this as a chance to demand something in return. Let's talk about why Nigerians are making fun of this situation now. Nigeria has a reputation for being loud and proud. So when they say no to something or to this deportation deal, they probably felt like they were standing tall. But truth be told, Nigeria also has its fair share of deportees. We've all seen videos of Nigerians that have been deported from Europe and other countries. So some people feel like Nigerians shouldn't be laughing too much because tomorrow it could be them dealing with the same issue. And at the end of the day, this whole drama shows how sensitive Africans are about international respect. Nobody wants to look weak. Nobody wants to look like they are just taking leftovers. For Ghanaians who are angry, I think it's less about the deportees themselves and more about pride. They don't want to feel like Ghana is just a dumping ground for other countries. And we also need to remember that these are real human beings, not just statistics. They have families, they have dreams, they've made mistakes, some big, some small. Mahama's decision may not be popular, but it shows that he is willing to at least bring his citizens back home and give them a second chance. And that's something to think about. So where do we go from here? Ghana needs to make sure it has a proper reintegration plan so these deportees don't end up suffering or causing more problems. And Nigerians, what do you think? Maybe they should just chill a bit with the mocking because no African country is perfect when it comes to deportations. What this whole thing really shows is that African leaders need to have a united voice when dealing with issues like this. Instead of fighting and mocking each other, they should be negotiating better deals so that when Africans are deported, they are not just dumped back with nothing. Well, let's hear what others have to say about this. If today is your first time joining my channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe.
The United States is sending people to the wrong country. I mean, they are deporting people to the wrong country. Ghana has received the first group of West African nationals deported from the United States under the bilateral arrangement. President John Dramani Mahama confirmed at the presidential media encounter that 14 people arrived in Accra on Wednesday, and most of them were Nigerians, with one Gabonian national. We agreed with the US because under ECOWAS, West Africans don't need a visa to enter Ghana. If they are bringing our colleagues back, we have no problem accepting them. The Nigerian deportees were later transferred by bus to their home country, while arrangements were made with the Gambian embassy to repatriate the Gambian national. President Mahama stressed that Ghana's role is in line with the ECOWAS protocol on free movement. I remember I also saw a video of, I think, a Mexican that was sent to South Sudan. Jump, before.
Major breaking news. Ghana has accepted criminals from America. Can you believe this? Just like South Sudan, Uganda, Rwanda and Eswatini, now Ghana has accepted 14 criminals from America. But there's a catch. They have said we are only going to accept them if they are from West African countries. We don't want them even if they are from North, South or even East Africa. We only want West African. And now they have gotten 13 Nigerians and 1 Gambian. The criminals have already been sent to Ghana, and as soon as they arrived, the 13 Nigerians, they were put on a bus and sent directly back to Nigeria. And I'm sure you're wondering, why did America not send those criminals directly to Nigeria? Well, Nigeria refused. Back then, when America was telling them we want to send criminals to your country, they were sending criminals from South America, from Asia and other countries that are not Nigeria. So Nigeria said, no, we are not going to be your trash can. You're not going to send people you do not want. And what about the remaining criminal from Gambia? Well, the Gambian embassy that is in Ghana, they're working very hard to put him on a flight and send him back to the Gambia. This happened today on the 11th of September. But you guys let me know, what do you think about Ghana accepting criminals only from West Africa? Is that a good idea, or are all criminals bad?